Welcome to an overview video about creating a client in Foodworks.online Professional. In this video, I will discuss how to create a client, followed by organizing clients with tags, creating resources for clients, setting custom nutrient goals for clients, logging client biometric information, and viewing client graphs. Let's begin with the process of creating a client. To do this, you will need to open a workspace or create a new one. Today, I will be working in an example professional workspace. In the navigation pane, click the plus icon and select Client from the drop-down. You will then need to enter the client profile details. I will name my client Example Client. Then, to enter the age of a client, there are three options. Either enter a date of birth, or enter the client's age in years or months. I will enter this client's date of birth in the field provided. The next step is to select the sex of the client. You can select male, female, or other. Note that sex is used to calculate a client's energy requirement, so if you select other, there will not be an estimated energy requirement calculated by Foodworks, and you will need to enter a custom energy requirement for the client. Also note that if female is selected, an additional field becomes available where you can enter a pregnancy or lactation status. My example client is a male, so I will select this option. Next, I will enter my client's weight in kilograms and then the height. Height can be entered in centimeters or in feet and inches. I will write an example height in centimeters. Finally, you will need to select an activity level from the drop-down, such as light. This physical activity level will be used to calculate the client's energy requirements. For an in-depth explanation about each physical activity level option, hover over the information icon and click the link. You will be redirected to a support article which will help you understand and choose the most accurate physical activity level for your client. Once all of the client profile details have been entered, click Create, and you will be placed on your client's dashboard tab where you can see an overview of your client. The profile box displays all of the profile details you entered upon creating the client, and you can see that the body mass index has been automatically calculated. The energy requirements box displays the estimated energy requirement and the basal metabolic rate that have been calculated from your client's profile details. A weight graph is also displayed, which will update when new weights are added for this client on their Graphs tab. There is also a notes field that you can use to enter additional information about a client, and you can optionally choose to enter your client's email address, phone number, and address in the client's contact details box if you wish to store the client details in Foodworks. An activity log is also available on the dashboard tab, which displays when the client was created and will record the date and time that changes are made to a client. Before we move on, let's discuss organizing your clients with tags. At the top of the dashboard is the tags field, where you can create and apply tags that are relevant to your work to organize your clients. For example, you might tag a client with the clinic in which you see them, or with relevant health conditions or dietary preferences. To tag a client, click Add Tag and then Create Tag. I will create a new tag and name it Clinic 1 and choose pink for the color. I will also create a tag called Vegan, as this example client follows a vegan diet. You can now see that these tags are associated with the client. These tags can be displayed on the navigation pane by selecting the ellipses button and clicking Show Tags. You can also filter your navigation pane by specific tags. For example, if I wanted to show all of my clients associated with a specific tag such as vegan, I can select Apply Filters and select the vegan tag. Once tags are created, they can be added to any other clients or resources, which is a super helpful way to categorize and organize the resources and clients in your workspace. I will remove this filter and remove the tags from the navigation pane for now. The next tab is the Resources tab. Here, you can view existing resources and create new resources for your client, such as foods, recipes, meal plans, food records, and 24-hour recalls. To create a resource for a client, click the Create New button and select the resource type from the drop-down. As an example, I will click Meal Plan and name this Client Meal Plan. If I then head back to the Client's Resources table, you can see the example meal plan in the All tab of the Resources table and the Meal Plan tab. You can also choose to show client resources in the navigation pane by clicking the ellipsis icon and selecting Show Client Resources. If you already have resources in your workspace that are for general use across your workspace, you can copy them to specific clients if required. To do this, select the resource you want to copy in the navigation pane, such as a recipe, then click the ellipses button, followed by selecting Copy Recipe to Client, and then choose the client. I will also move an example vegan meal plan to this client. Now, if we go back to the client, you can see in the resources table, these resources are listed, and also in the recipes tab and the meal plans tab. The next client tab is the nutrient targets tab, which displays the energy requirements and nutrient reference values for your client. The nutrient reference values for Australia and New Zealand are a set of recommendations for nutritional intake based on the current evidence. In Foodworks, you can compare your client's food intake against the NRVs when you create client resources such as meal plans, food records, and 24-hour recalls. Your client's individual nutrient reference values are based on the details you entered for your client upon creating them. Factors that impact your client's nutrient reference values include age, sex, weight, pregnancy status, and lactation status. These nutrient reference values are found on this Nutrients tab, and you can select from the categories to view them. For more information about the nutrient reference values, please visit the Foodworks Online support article named Nutrient Reference Values Explained, which you can access by hovering over the information icon and selecting the link. If you wish to set your own custom energy requirement for a client, select the Energy category and toggle on Custom. You can then enter a number in the field provided. Also, if you prefer your energy unit to be calories instead of kilojoules, you can toggle between them by clicking the icon in the top right corner as shown here. On this tab, you can also set personalized nutrient goals for your client by entering a minimum or a maximum goal in the relevant field in the relevant category. For example, you may want to set a minimum protein goal for a client, which you can do by selecting macronutrients and typing a number in the minimum goal field for protein. Your client's intake can then be compared to the personalized nutrient goals you have set. The next tab is the Graphs tab, where you can track a wide range of anthropometric, biochemical, and clinical biometrics for each of your clients and view nutrient graphs. The Overview tab displays weight and energy graphs, as well as energy and fat ratio graphs and RDI graphs. You can select a resource to base the nutrient graphs on from the Graphs Based On section. In the Biometric tab, you can select a biometric and a time frame, and the graph will update. These graphs are most useful when a client has plenty of data associated with them. To view all of the available measurements to track, click View Available Biometrics from the Biometric dropdown. Here, you can view and search the available anthropometric, biochemical, and clinical biometrics to track. As an example, I will select the biochemical category and click HbA1c, LDL cholesterol, and albumin and click Save Changes. I can now log measurements for these biometrics and view the associated graphs. For example, to enter a value for LDL cholesterol, select this from the drop-down, then click New Entry, enter a value, and click Save. You can also view just the graph, just the values, or both the graph and the values side by side by clicking the relevant options at the top of the graph. If there is a biometric unavailable in Foodworks that you want to track, you can select Create Custom Biometrics from the dropdown and enter a name and unit of measurement and click Save. You can now see this custom biometric in the drop-down to record new entries and view the associated graph. On this tab, you can also view graphs for nutrient reference values by selecting nutrient targets, selecting a nutrient reference value from the drop-down, such as RDI, and then selecting the relevant resource. This process can also be done for the energy and fat ratio graphs. Finally, you can also generate a PNG file for any graph by clicking the Generate PNG icon and it will automatically download. This brings us to the end of the video. I hope this video has provided helpful information so you can now begin creating your own clients in Foodworks.online Professional. To access more video resources, please click the thumbnail on this screen. Thank you for watching.